So we all know that SoFi stock has a lot going on and looks like many more eyes are laser focused on this stock now. SoFi as a company is also executing well on all fronts, from awesome product list to full list of catalysts. Looks like investors will be well rewarded. So let's do this. Let me share top 3 catalysts for SoFi that is going to push this stock at a new level. And I'm talking about few catalysts that are not very well known and looked at, and few that are very well known and we all are aware of it. But before we start this video, just a quick announcement. I need your help to decide on Discord. I don't want to take too much of your time in the beginning, so towards the end of the video, I'm sharing my dilemma. If you can please watch and let me know your thoughts in the comments, I would really appreciate it. Okay, coming back to the topic. So let's start with the products. So SoFi is still very much a lending company, and majority of their revenue is still generated from lending or loans. Now, 2021 was an interesting year in terms of lending. We had government support along with student loan deferrals, which suppressed SoFi's business for majority of 2020 and 2021. And as you can see, we saw an improvement in their student loan and also personal loan as we went into Q2 of 2021. Their home loans slowed down, but student loan and personal loan saw a great jump. So if you look at the chart here, this is Q1 of 2021. And as you can see, financial services product and student loans suffered a great deal of losses towards the Q1 of 2021 because of the deferral program, and also personal loans were also in the negative, as you can see over here. Now Q2 of 2020, we saw a huge increase in the personal loan. So of course this is changing, or I would say the whole structure or the lending business is changing, and I will explain more in just a bit. But you can see over here that their student loan has started to come up, their personal loan has gone up drastically, and of course their financial services product is still making good money for them, not as much as Q1, but I expect it to change in Q3 of 2021. So what does it mean for SoFi? 2022 is looking much better for SoFi's lending business, considering that student loan deferrals will likely end in January, and if active users and downloads of SoFi's banking app continue the higher download rates, I bet their financial services segment to be more profitable. And if you combine this with other catalysts, we can see an amazing 2022 for SoFi. So on number 2, the second catalyst I would like to discuss or bring your attention to is something that we have been talking for a while, and that is SoFi's bank charter. So we know that bank charter is imminent and will happen soon, but how will bank charter affect SoFi's long-term projection? So let's take a look here. If SoFi is granted, I should say when SoFi is granted a national bank charter, its EBITDA margin could jump as much as 15 percentage points in just 1 year. Take a look over here. So this is 2022, and let's say that they get assigned bank charter towards the end of this year. Probably we are expecting any day now. So in 2022, without bank charter is blue and with bank charter is orange. You can see without bank charter, they are close to about 15% EBITDA. And then with bank charter, they are touching 30% EBITDA. So, and they're not just stopping here, they will continue to grow the EBITDA with bank charter, and by 2025, it'll be close to about $1 billion. Think about this. Their EBITDA will be equal to the revenue they are doing currently. This is what makes me bullish about this company. Now, number 3, and I'm gonna jump quickly because I don't want this video to be like 30 minutes. Number 3, let's take a look at the industry as a whole. SoFi is a baby when it comes to digital banking, and especially when compared to big banks. And we know that few big banks have reported some record quarters this week, but during the earnings call, few things were mentioned, which was awesome to hear, as that indirectly affects SoFi's bottom line. So this is what JP Morgan CEO has to say right here. So JP Morgan, of course, exceeded profit expectation on 1.5 billion boost for better than expected loan losses. This is what they have to say. While loan growth remains muted, we see a number of indicators that suggest that they're stabilized and may be poised to begin more robust growth across the company. This is really exciting. That means their loan business is improving, which is of course SoFi's majority business. Along with that, Bank of America also top estimate, and this is what Bank of America's CEO has to say. We think we have about 17% market share of Gen Z area, lots of colleges and a lot of other things going on. But the key is to realize that the net balances per account have gone from 7,000 to 10,000 over the last couple of years. So you are seeing a bigger and bigger core position. This is really exciting because SoFi was built on student loan. So if traditional banks are seeing an increase in the student loan service and also other type of loan, you can see that SoFi will be indirectly affected by this. Now, of course, in a positive way. Now, what they are telling us in this is that we are seeing big indicators where student loan and personal loan will flourish in 2022 by a big margin. Now, we know that 2020 and 2021, SoFi's student loans suffered because of the deferral, but this is going to change in 2022 if administration does not come out and extend it. And from what I'm reading and what I'm seeing, along with SoFi's now tech-heavy presence, I think it's going to help them acquire more customers at a cheaper acquisition rate. 2022 is going to be an exciting year for SoFi. So next, let me pull all of that in a paper and share with you. Let's take a quick look of 2022 projection right here. So you can see that their lending business in 2022 is expected to do about 957 million, just one core part of SoFi. Their whole revenue for 2021 is going to be around that. And in 2022, just one part of their business will be doing about 957 million. Now, along with that, their financial services revenue and their tech platform will be growing at an exponential rate. Look at this. Their lending business will grow 35% year over year. In 2022, their financial services is expected to grow 344% year over year, and their tech platform is expected to grow about 54% year over year. So total, they are expected to do about $1.5 billion revenue, or an increase of about 53%. This is really, really good for SoFi because this not only tells us that they are growing in all the sectors, but their financial services and their tech platform is also growing at a much faster rate. This is the core business, this is the new business, and it's growing at a much better rate. So now we know that SoFi is going to perform very well in 2022. I mean, combined 53% growth is impressive. So where will this stock be? Let's say if there is no bank charter news. So if there is no bank charter news, which is going to happen, but let's say the worst case, if there is no bank charter news, then analysts are predicting the stock is going to touch $25. Now, if there is bank charter news, then we are going to see the stock get close to about $28. As because I've shown in EBITDA how they will be growing exponentially if they get the bank charter news right here. And this is the price prediction from the analyst saying that if there is no charter, revenue upside scenario right here, 25 just based on revenue. And then banking license scenario, if they receive banking charter along with that, is about $28. So as of course with the bank charter, they will have access to cheaper capital for loans, which is going to be a massive growth factor for at least 2022 because eventually their tech services or platform will take over the lending segment. But for now, this is what makes them money. So given these catalysts and also the whole banking industry entering a bullish cycle, it'll be safe to say that in my personal opinion, and I'm not a financial advisor, that SoFi will have a solid 2022 with some amazing returns. But I remember this always, that stock may not always reflect what is going on with the company. What I mean is that we might see some profit taking when the bank charter hits or announced, and then in the long run, the stock will do amazing. Regardless, I'm invested in the company and excited for the future. Okay, so here's my dilemma that I need your help with. We are getting close to about 10,000 subscribers, and as I promised, we'll have a Discord soon. Now, I wanted to open a Discord which is going to be free, but some of the users are suggesting, or some of the viewers are suggesting, that free Discord will attract lots of spam and will make it harder to filter quality content. Let me know in the comments if that is what you also think and what would you suggest. The two options are to offer free Discord and somehow manage spam. Now, not sure how effective that'll be as I'm tired of spam in YouTube already and we are not even that big of a channel yet. Or charge a nominal fee so we keep quality discussion and can actually share meaningful content that benefit those who really value it. So now you tell me, how would you like to go forward? Because again, I was going to open it for all us viewers. And if you enjoyed the video, then click the like button and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss out on future videos like these. Also, in my next SoFi video, I'm answering some questions like, should I sell SoFi? Should I take profit? Should I buy SoFi? And few others that I have received over the past few weeks. As always, an absolute pleasure to share all of this with you. Until next time, you all have a sparkling day.